One of the things that was most impressive about Ken Holland early in his tenure with the Edmonton Oilers was how he handled the Jesse Puljujarvi situation. For years, the overarching theme of the Oilers front office was decisions that reeked of panic. This ranged from Kevin Lowe offering the Buffalo Sabres draft picks until the end of time for Thomas Vanek, all the way to Peter Chiarelli randomly acquiring Brandon Manning and Alex Petrovich in the middle of a lost season. Holland came into the organization, and one of the problems that he inherited was a disgruntled top draft pick who wanted a change of scenery. Rather than meeting that demand, Holland let Puljujarvi sign a one-year deal with his childhood club in Finland. Puljujarvi regained confidence in Finland as he finished 4th in Liiga scoring with 53 points across 56 games. Holland's patience paid off as Puljujarvi inked a 2-year deal in October of 2020 to come back to Edmonton. Over those 2 seasons, Puljujarvi scored 29 goals and 32 assists across 120 games. That production, along with Puljujarvi's strong defensive play and cheap contract, made him a very valuable player for the Oilers. Here we are now, and Ken Holland again has himself a Puljujarvi situation. How will he handle it? The Oilers are in a bit of a jam as they're tight to the salary cap ceiling, and they have a handful of players on expired deals who want to get paid. Among those players is Puljujarvi, a restricted free agent with 2 more years left of team control before he can hit the open market. Something's got to budge, and not everyone from the 2022 team is going to be back next season. So what can we expect from Puljujarvi's next contract? Is he a player the Oilers are going to invest in long-term, or might he wind up a salary cap casualty? I suspect the answer lies somewhere in the middle. Being a player who came overseas at 18 years of age, returned to Europe following his entry-level deal, and then came back to the NHL with some solid seasons makes Puljujarvi a bit of a unicorn. The best comparison I can find for Puljujarvi comes from the 2013 draft. At number 10 overall, the Dallas Stars selected Russian winger Valeri Nichushkin. He scored 34 points as an 18-year-old rookie, but struggled in his following 2 seasons and returned to the KHL after that. After a couple of good seasons with CSKA Moscow, the Stars brought Nichushkin back on a 2-year deal. In his first season back in the NHL, Nichushkin scored 0 goals and 10 assists over the course of 57 games, and the Stars bought out the second year of his contract. It's difficult to defend a player who didn't score a goal over 57 games, but what the Stars missed here was a player with a very strong defensive game, which could be seen in his underlying numbers. Nichushkin wound up inking a deal with the Colorado Avalanche and has since developed into a very good 2-way winger. This season he scored 25 goals and 52 points and received multiple Selke Trophy votes for his defensive play. The key here was patience, as Nichushkin scored just 13 and 10 goals in his first 2 seasons with the Avs, but added value through his play without the puck. There's a similar thing going on here with Puljujarvi. He has excellent underlying numbers, as highlighted by a 55-31 on-ice goal differential in 2021-22, but he struggles to capitalize on his chances and put the puck into the back of the net. Still, even if he isn't scoring goals, Puljujarvi adds value with his defensive play, forechecking, and playmaking in the neutral and offensive zone. If the goal-scoring ability ever comes around, Puljujarvi will be a 2-way force in the NHL. But the Oilers need to be patient. Puljujarvi just turned 24 years old in May and is far from a finished product. If the Oilers opt to move on from him now, another team will very likely wind up capitalizing on their impatience, much like Colorado did when Dallas decided they didn't want to wait for Nichushkin to sort things out. Given where Puljujarvi's at as a player and where the Oilers are at in terms of salary cap room, a long-term deal isn't going to happen in this situation. The most reasonable path forward for both parties would be a 1-year show-me deal. The Oilers get an inexpensive player who's still under team control when the contract expires, and Puljujarvi gets an opportunity to earn a larger contract next summer after spending a year playing for Jay Woodcroft, a coach known for his player development. This would put Puljujarvi on par with fellow Finn from the 2016 draft Patrik Laine, who followed up his entry-level contract with a 2-year bridge deal and then signed a 1-year show-me deal after that. Holland's patience in dealing with Puljujarvi back in 2019 was a breath of fresh air for this organization. It's needed again this summer as the Oilers have a talented but flawed player on the cusp of becoming a force in the NHL.